Hello, and welcome to a presentation about using technology to improve your EMS agency or fire department. A bit about me. I'm Fred Grams. I'm the Chief of Springwater Wayland EMS. Prior agencies that I've worked with over 30 years: Wayland Fire Department, Lindenwood VAC, Metro Care Ambulance in New York City, Maritime College Rescue Squad. And I also have the wonderful support of my wife, which makes a presentation like this so much easier. My full-time job is a senior computer support and data protection officer for a local school district. I have 24 years in information technology. I would be remiss if I don't do a disclaimer. I have no relationship with any of the products mentioned in this presentation. My experience with these products is as a user or administrator only within my agency. My department, Springwater Wayland EMS, is a rural department, 39 square miles coverage area, population about 4,200. We average about 450 calls a year with 28 volunteers, and we average over 1,100 hours on schedule every month, which is something I'm going to highlight because of one of the products that we're going to mention in a little bit. First off, anytime you're talking about technology and you're trying to create a brand and use good tools within your organization, you need a core name, so to speak, a domain name. So every website has a domain name, but if you want to have host your own email, if you want to host your own products internally, you need to have your own domain name. That is the core of everything. That's the root of your organization's technology. Okay? Register a domain name. It's less than $20 a year, depending on whether you want to go with a .com, .net, whatever. Most of the time you can get it cheap. It's worth keeping up. So I've used several different services like enum.com, domain.com. Look around, find what you like. Make sure it's a product that you can manage the DNS. It's called DNS, domain name service. You need to be able to manage that. So as long as you can manage that, you can add the DNS settings for your own website and also for your own email service. Whether you go with Google or Microsoft, you need access to the DNS settings. So the first thing you have to do after choosing a registrar that you're going to work with is look for a domain name that's available. You need to find a domain name that matches your organization, but it's also easy to tell someone. Try to avoid hyphens, which I learned from experience that makes it a little bit difficult, s-wems.org. But unfortunately, without the hyphen was already taken. But try to avoid hyphens, try to make it easy. See what's available. Try to make sure you don't duplicate a site that's already out there for another agency that has similar acronyms or similar, characters. Use the full name if you have to, but make it memorable. Once you have a domain name, do not let it expire. If it expires, you lose access to everything that you're set up, your email and everything else. But not only that, it takes a long time to build your online presence and a lot of effort to create the brand, the quote-unquote brand around your domain name. So you want to make sure you keep it. For less than $20 a year, it's not an expense it's not a big expense, and it's worth keeping. So the first product we're going to touch on is the core organizational tool. My agency is standardized on the Google Workspace suite. We receive Google for Nonprofits, which includes the full Workspace suite of tools, which includes email, chat, Spaces, Google Drive, Calendar, Docs, Sheets, Forms, Google Meet, Keep, a whole bunch of other tools. 50 users without a problem, and guess what? It just improves communication between everybody. So the way we use email as a primary communications tool, every one of our volunteers, we're an all-volunteer agency, all of our volunteers are given a Google account that grants access to email, Drive, Calendar, and all the chat features. Your email is your standard communication. Every member has their own calendar. We also have a shared calendar for rooms and to ensure coordination between committees, and so we don't step on each other's toes. Chat and Spaces is also great. It all integrates. If you have Gmail on your phone, a Gmail app, all these integrate right in the bottom with individual buttons that you could flip between the tools, and makes it easy to communicate in multiple ways. So one of the things that we also did with email is we set up email groups. Groups allow you to better manage your organizational needs and ensure the messages are seen by your teams. They're also used for security features and file sharing limits. I can explain that in a minute. So, for example, in our agency, we use email groups. All members is one group. Every member of the agency is a member of the all members group. If I have to send out an email blast, I use that tool. We have an email group for the directors, all the board of directors. If you need to send an email with anybody, if any of our members need to contact the board of directors as a group, they can send an email to the directors. The directors also use it to communicate with each other in between meetings. Same thing for the officers. We have an email for the officers. We keep in touch with each other that way. Our individual committees, membership, fundraiser, bylaws, all of those have groups as well. And those changes needed. And like I mentioned, that also adds to the security features. So let's say you have 4 members in your bylaw committee, and one of them decides they don't want to do it anymore. You remove them, put the other name in there, and from that point forward, they're the ones who get any emails sent to bylaws, but they also get access to the bylaws folder within Drive. So another feature is quick messages and group discussions using Google Chat and Google Spaces. Google Chat, you can select a new chat and do an individual message with anybody, and it's just like Facebook Messenger, basically, an individual Facebook Messenger. Google Spaces, on the other hand, is great for team collaboration where you want to work on files together, you want to have a shared task list, or any kind of threaded conversations. It's sort of like a variation on Facebook groups, but limited to the group that you're in. A couple other tools that come with Google is if you're using your desktop version of Gmail, it's on the right side. They're also linked within your apps on your phone if you want. Calendar, tasks, and keep. So under calendar, you coordinate everybody's time. Here's a screenshot of a calendar event here, and basically you can see that you can add a time and you can add guests. This is where your Google Groups comes into play. For our meetings, if we have a general membership meeting, click on Add Guest, select all members, and they're automatically added to the calendar event and get an email about the meeting. They can respond to that as well and notify you if they're going to be there or not there. Now, this area over here where it says Add Rooms or Location, that's interesting. You can enter a location or select a room. You have to set that up within the Google Admin Console as a resource. And once you set up a room as a resource, you can select the room, and this way it has its own calendar. You select the room, it'll tell you if it's available or not available. We also use those resources to track training kits, like the CPR mannequins, our Stop the Bleed training kit, so our instructors know when the kits are available, and we're not stepping each other's toes. Google also comes with Google Meet. We use this extensively for our regular meetings, actually. We've modified the bylaws to allow for virtual connectivity for the membership meetings and also for membership votes to be done electronically via teleconference. And we didn't specify Meet in case we had to change something down the road, but we have that. But you can see that any member can create a Google Meet, and then you can share it with people in or outside the agency. I believe the limit's 100 users, 100 people at a time. We have 28 members. A lot of other volunteer departments might top out at 40 or 50. Google Meet will be able to handle it. We use this for our regular meetings. We have a screen set up on the wall, webcam on it, and a special microphone, with an extension cable on the conference table. And we see that we have between 4 and 6 members at every meeting who are either at work, on break, are commuting, or whatever. They can't make the regular meetings because of their other commitments. They dial in. If somebody's sick, they're still able to dial in and participate. It has improved participation in the regular meetings. We also did put a provision in our bylaws to allow for voting. So that's where this poll feature comes into place. We can do a poll for the members at home where it's an anonymous poll for them to choose something that we're voting on as a membership. And then we get the tally that coordinates with our regular paper or hand vote in the regular meeting. You can also present your desktop, or a specific window or a specific tab. So like for a regular meeting, we bring up the financial report for the month. We'll present that tab, and everybody at home can see that information the same as everybody in the office. So Google Drive, file storage and sharing for the entire organization. Use it. Use the shared drive feature. It's wonderful. Shared drives, the files are owned by the shared drive, not by an individual member. So if somebody leaves the agency and you have to disable the account, the files don't disappear. But the other benefit of shared drives is that you can set permissions by group, nice and easy. So like we have, as you see in the image here on the shared drives, we have an archive, we have a CME folder, we have a leadership, which is the shared drive is only shared among our board and officers to work on drafts and communication that has to be somewhat confidential, until it's presented to the membership. And then we have the member files. And the member files is everything else. And every member has view access to that file. We use the all members group. They have full view access to that entire drive. The individual subfolders for the different committees or for the officer positions. So let's say we have the apparatus committee. The apparatus committee has a folder under a committee folder there, and they have, because they're a member of that apparatus committee, we granted them write permission to that folder. So any member of that committee can modify files in that subfolder within members' files. But all the members can still view those files. So we set that up so that all of our members have access to all of our data and basically give them ownership. We have also created an archive shared drive, and we have it broken down by year and month, and we put in photos, we put in scanned articles, documents, anything that is historically significant for the agency. And that's great for marketing purposes. That's great. That's a great resource for us to say, I want to publish a new image or whatever, and I, publish something on Facebook. And I need an image. I go in the archive folder, grab the image, and throw it in there. So another tool that's out there that's no cost for emergency services agencies is Zello. It allows you to turn your phone into a two-way radio. It does use data. It allows person to person. It allows a dispatch console, so you could do a radio room to with a computer to dispatch to individual users or groups. And it also allows you to create duty crews for events or anything else on the fly. We don't use this that often. At the moment, we're looking at integrating it more, but the vision that we have for this is special events or times when we need more people involved in an issue or an incident, then we have portable radios available. Another tool that we get, again, this is a donated product, WhenToHelp. Schedule your availability. It's a great scheduling tool. Our county provides a product called I Am Responding. The scheduling component of I Am Responding is pretty convoluted, for lack of a better term. So we found that this tool here is actually a lot easier. It allows all of our members to individually schedule themselves. And you can create smartphone access by adding an icon to your homepage on the phone and save your login credentials. It only stores 3 months worth of data, so you archive that information out. So I have a Google Sheet that I archive out, to a Google Sheet monthly, and then basically, you don't really need the historical information too long, so that's kind of works for us. Scheduling is easy. You just click on the Schedule tab, click on Add a Shift. You can look at all the shift details. You can select start and what position you want. Your position is decided on by what you enter for your users. And then if one of your members can't cover their shift, they put it on the trade board. And then that sends an automatic email to everybody who's qualified for that position. So we mentioned the domain name. Now let's get on to marketing your website. We use DreamHost. It's donated. It's free, a free shared hosting plan for any 501c3 nonprofit. Get your account set up. All right, so this is separate from email, so this is where your DNS stuff comes into play that I mentioned earlier. You point your website to DreamHost, you point your email services to Google, and that's where your DNS settings get into it. So once you get your domain hosting set up, they have a WordPress installer. WordPress is a wonderful, easy to use interface to create a website and easily manage it. You can update pages, you can create a news section and have it almost like a blog for news sections. And WordPress itself is free. There are templates that you can install that are free or low cost. Once you do that, you can assign a couple of your members to edit your website and kind of spread the load on it. And again, your only cost for that, you get the site donated, your only cost for that is your domain name. So everything we've talked about, there's been no cost involved. Public relations. Facebook and Instagram, I'm using these because they tie together. You need to promote your agency. You need to get your message out to the public. Go to where they are, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat if you want to mess with that, TikTok, whatever. Get out there. Use the tools. So you create your page, I'll show you another tool that you can use to create the title of your page and some of your images. You can schedule posts to both Facebook and Instagram from one interface. So that's why I mentioned these two together. You create your account on both, tie them together in the Facebook Meta portal, and you're able to schedule your posts that will go to both of them at the same time. For like EMS week, I'll schedule all the posts for EMS week 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time. I have all material ready, schedule it, I walk away. I don't have to be in front of the computer. It automatically posts at whatever time I set it for whatever day. So this way it keeps your social media active even if you can't physically be there to do it. This tool is great. Again, it's a donated product, Canva, marketing and presentations. This presentation that I'm doing here is done in Canva. I'm doing this recording in Canva. The photos at the beginning of myself in uniform with the background was removed, that was done in Canva. All the stuff is easy to do. It's a easy click around the interface to do things. Every one of our members gets access to Canva for nonprofits at no cost, up to 50 users. We use it for our social media images and videos. So if you go to our Facebook page, you see some of the videos. Most of them were done on Canva as well. Presentations. We use it for presentations for the training, for internal training and public presentations. Like I said, this one was done with it. We also do print publications. So flyers to hand out at events, recruitment flyers, posters. We created a trifold brochure to give out to patients that has our information, a little bit of recruitment information, has a link to our privacy policy, but it also has phone numbers and contact information for agencies in the area that can help them. Suicide hotline, the veterans benefits for the local VA, the NY Connects here in New York State. NY Connects is a program to connect elderly and handicapped people to resources, so we put that number in for our county as well. So we use that to get more information out there and put a good face forward to our patients. Another product that you are probably familiar with, and it is also free to an extent, is Microsoft Office. Microsoft will give you a Microsoft 365 grant for the full suite of Office for up to 10 users. So you can actually install that on your desktop. You can get up to 300 users of the Business Basic, which is the web version of Office apps. This product also comes with email and calendaring options, as well as a few other tools. It depends on whether you want to go with this or Google, the kind of competitors. I found that the Google interface is a lot easier to work with, especially for less technical people, than the Microsoft interface. However, if you do want to go with Microsoft, TechSoup.org does have a service where they help you manage some of these tools. So that is something that you might be able to do. You'd have to pay TechSoup for some of the management component of it, but they are a great group of people over there. So you have all the software options. So this was just a high-level overview of some of our products. And here's some other options that you have out there. Adobe Express. Um, Again, you can get it for free for a certain number of users. There's tons. There's tons of stuff out there that's either free or discounted depending on what you want to do. Monday.com, Asana. You can get other things out there. However, well, one of the places where you can go to look for it is TechSoup.org. They have a great catalog of this stuff. There are some products that don't go through TechSoup.org, so it just depends what you're looking for. Couple pointers. Look at your needs. Don't choose products just because you can get them for free. Look at your needs and see if that meets your needs. The more products you have, the more you have to manage. So don't just jump on everything. Look at the ease of management. Look at your members. See if you have members who can manage some of this. See if one of those people can help train a couple other people to manage this. You don't want to have a single point of failure. So look at the ease of management and see if you're capable of doing it within your agency. Get your domain name and set up your email first. That is a big one. Make sure your email is up and running before you do anything else, because a lot of these other tools rely on your email logins, whether it's using a Google login or a Microsoft login or using that email to log in with a password. You still need that email. So if you're going to create, let's say, a Canva environment for your users, Canva does Google login. So you have to have that Google set up before you can use it effectively. Okay, one of the recommendations that I do have with that is have a small team to manage accounts and share a file. So within Google, once you set up your Google account, share a file, say a Google Sheet, listing who has access to what tools. It's simple to do in a Google Sheet. Don't sign up for everything. Choose the tools you're likely to use. Okay, this was a high-level overview of the tools that I found useful. This is not a place to get into the technical know-how how to do it. There's many ways of skinning that cat. I don't want to get lost in the weeds with anybody about that. But a lot of these products do have a lot of technical assistance available to the different products. They have a lot of knowledge-based articles out there on how to onboard with their products. And worst comes to worst, TechSoup.org has a lot of resources that are available to help. I'd like to thank you for listening, and I hope you found this presentation useful. Have a great day.